It's an infrastructure war out there, and the biggest players are locking down the supplies. Today on Nobius AI Briefing, we're unpacking OpenAI's quiet policy moves, a massive compute deal that's reshaping the industry, and what it all means for your roadmap if you're actually building things. Nobius AI Briefing brought to you by Proactive AI. Welcome back. I'm your host, Vikash. All right, let's jump straight into what's been happening. We've got a few big moves that are shaping the landscape, and I've picked out the ones that will actually impact your work. First up, OpenAI is really stepping up its policy and lobbying game. In plain English, this isn't just about shipping models anymore. OpenAI is putting serious resources into influencing how AI is regulated, talking to governments, and pushing for certain safety standards globally. For builders, the interesting part is that this signals a maturing industry, but also one where the rules of engagement are increasingly being written by a few dominant players. It means you can't just ignore the regulatory chatter. What they advocate for today might be the compliance headache you're dealing with next year. It's a shift from pure innovation to trying to shape the entire ecosystem. And that's a power move. Next, Anthropic just inked a truly massive deal with Google for TPUs. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar commitment here for specialized AI chips. In plain English, this isn't just a simple cloud credit. It's a strategic partnership to secure cutting-edge compute at scale, ensuring Anthropic can train its next generation of models like Claude without worrying about hardware scarcity. For builders, the interesting part is this highlights the sheer demand for compute right now. It shows you that access to specialized hardware, not just smart algorithms, is becoming the ultimate bottleneck and competitive differentiator. It's a land grab for GPUs and TPUs, and it's accelerating. If you don't have compute, you can't train. Simple as that. And finally, we're seeing a quiet but significant scramble for specialized AI talent in the hardware and infrastructure space. It's not just about hiring prompt engineers anymore. Companies are aggressively poaching engineers who can build, optimize, and manage massive AI infrastructure. People who understand custom silicon, large scale distributed training, and energy efficiency. For builders, the interesting part is this is a leading indicator. It tells you where the money and strategic focus are moving. If you're thinking about the next wave of AI products, you've got to start thinking about the infrastructure beneath it. Who's building the highways for these new models? That's where the real advantage will come from. It's not just about the model itself, it's about the engine room behind it. So let's double click on that Anthropic Google TPU deal. Why does this really matter beyond the eye-popping dollar figures? Here's what happened. Anthropic, the company behind the Claude LLM, secured a deal with Google for billions of dollars worth of Google's tensor processing units, or TPUs. Think of TPUs as Google's custom-built chips, designed from the ground up to be incredibly efficient at AI workloads, especially for training massive neural networks. They're like super specialized muscle cars built just for AI racing. This deal gives Anthropic guaranteed long-term access to a huge fleet of these machines. Now, why does this matter now? Look, we're in an AI arms race. Every major player, OpenAI, Anthropic, Meta, and others, they're all trying to build the next frontier model. The single biggest bottleneck, the thing that slows everyone down, isn't just talent or ideas, it's raw compute power. It's having enough of these specialized chips to actually do the training. You can have the smartest researchers, the best algorithms, but if you don't have the silicon to run your experiments, to crunch trillions of parameters, you're stuck. This deal with Google isn't just about Anthropic getting a good price, it's about securing supply. It's about ensuring they have the runway and the capacity to keep pushing the boundaries of what models like Claude can do. For Google, it's a strategic win too, because it cements their position as a critical infrastructure provider in the AI ecosystem. They're not just a cloud provider, they're becoming the foundational layer for some of the most important AI labs. It's like selling shovels during a gold rush, but also owning a few of the biggest mines. That's a powerful position. So, who should really care about this? And if you're a founder building an AI native product, you should care. If you're a product manager, planning your roadmap around the capabilities of next gen models, you should care. And especially if you're an infrastructure engineer or an architect trying to figure out how to scale your AI workloads, this should be on your radar. Even investors looking at the long term viability of AI companies should be watching these compute deals, because the ability to innovate and scale is increasingly tied to who controls the hardware. How should you think about this as a builder? First, recognize the trend. Compute is king. This isn't a fleeting moment, it's the new normal. The cost and availability of powerful AI chips are going to dictate a lot of what's possible in the next few years. For you, this means if you're building on top of foundational models, you need to be aware of the underlying compute economics. On the opportunities side, if you're building on Anthropic's models, this could mean more stable, faster iteration cycles for Claude, potentially leading to more capable APIs for you to integrate. If you're deeply invested in Google Cloud, it signals their long term commitment and capability in the AI infrastructure space. You can likely count on more innovation and capacity from them, but there are risks too, right? This kind of centralization of compute power to a few major labs and cloud providers creates potential gatekeepers. What if you're a smaller startup, an open source project, or just a developer exploring AI side projects? Does this mean compute costs will remain astronomically high for you? Does it mean the playing field becomes even more tilted towards the well funded few? It certainly makes it harder to compete on raw model training unless you have deep pockets or a truly novel approach. My no BS take on this: don't get lost in the sheer dollar amount of the deal. That's hype. The real story, the real value for you is understanding the strategic implications of securing supply. It's about realizing that access to bleeding edge compute is the new oil. It's the raw resource that fuels AI progress. So, if you're not thinking about your compute strategy, you're missing a critical piece of the puzzle. It's not just about which model you use, it's about the infrastructure that makes that model possible. If you want one practical takeaway from today's episode, here it is: take 30 minutes this week to seriously evaluate your AI compute strategy. Mm, It might sound a bit abstract, but it's critical. Here's how to try it in under 30 minutes. First, list out your current and projected AI workloads for the next 6 to 12 months. Are you mostly doing inference, fine tuning, training custom models from scratch? Second, identify your current compute providers. Are you tied to a single cloud vendor like AWS, GCP, or Azure? Are you leveraging specialized GPU cloud providers or even running anything locally? Third, spend 20 minutes researching one alternative or emerging option for your specific type of workload. Maybe it's a different cloud region, a specific type of GPU instance, or even exploring a niche provider that offers better pricing or more tailored hardware for fine tuning. For instance, if you're heavily into inference, look at serverless GPU options. If you're fine tuning, compare spot instance pricing across providers. The goal isn't to switch everything today, but to understand your options and your potential dependencies. Finally, ask yourself this: are we over reliant on a single vendor for our critical AI infrastructure? And do we truly understand the cost implications of our compute choices long term? Just asking these questions can expose potential blind spots and give you an edge. That's it for today's No BS AI briefing. If this helped, follow the show in your podcast app and share it with one builder you know. And if you've got questions or topics you want covered, connect with me on LinkedIn and send them over. See you in the next briefing.